I hold in my hand a 1989 Radio Shack Game & Watch. I mean, it's not a Game & Watch, but I mean, it is a game and... I'll explain next.
This video supported in part by...
Playing VR, I tend to sweat. It gives me an edge. So King of Nerds happens to give me an edge too. Let King of Nerds give you the edge. Bye, King of Nerds.
Hey there, welcome back to GenXGrownUp. I'm John, and I am a GenXGrownUp. Thank you so much for taking the time to click on this video. Among my hobbies, far too many hobbies probably, is going out thrifting on the weekends, going to antique malls and flea markets and garage sales, looking for things that spark my interest. And lately I've been on a real kick of vintage handheld electronics. So when I came across this 1989 Radio Shack Raceway LCD game, I think they wanted like 15 bucks for it, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, it had the box, it has some of the inserts, it was missing the instructions, so I had to be creative there, but I mean, I'm a little torn on it. This is not like it doesn't work, it does work. I've tested it, right? So we're gonna take a look at all of that. It's it's oddly advanced in gameplay, and yet not as good as I would expect for 1989. It's a little bit of an anomaly, and either way, it's fun to look at. So let's go to the table and I'll show you what I'm talking about.
This Radio Shack Raceway box has seen better days, but I will tell you it has done its job in protecting the contents, which we'll look at in a second. Everything about this feels like it's from a different time, or it's a holdover. Look, so it says, with sound. Would you be surprised that a game has sound in 1989? Why is that a call out? Of course, it ought to have sound. It's a game, right? For ages 6 and up, yeah, I can see that. Around the back here, it talks about, a general overview, test your driving skills in the open raceway, but watch out, blah, 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 blah. Plus can serve as an alarm clock that shows hours and minutes. So you can see what I mean when I say that this is a game and watch, much like Nintendo was doing their Game & Watch already. So this Radio Shack was like, yeah, we make watches, we make games, boom, hybrid, here it is. So let's jump into this one. You can see the tag. Yeah, I mentioned $15 is what it cost me when I picked it up. And normally I do a cleaning montage. I don't think it's going to be required here. This is pretty clean. Now, I've still got it in this little tray here that was in the box because it's kind of part of the story. When I found it in the antique mall where I discovered this, I opened it up to look, and I'm like, oh, look, there's a battery in there. That's great. And then I looked at the battery. If that battery came from inside this device, that could be bad news. So next, of course, I took a closer look at this guy. So around back, we can start to see some of the cool features of this little Raceway Game & Watch and game, whatever. While it lacks any sort of description of the game for those who have lost the box or the manual and don't have any idea what to play, that's not here. But it does have, so it has the battery door with use a penny to get in there. But for a Game & Watch, look at this. It has a stand so that you can extend this little guy, set it on the table, and it'll stand on its own. I don't remember Nintendo doing that with their Game & Watch. I look, he just tucks right up in there and gets out of the way. I think that's a nice addition. So of course I went straight for this battery door. I took a penny out of my pocket and kind of put it in there. You gotta twist and find the open spot. There we go. And lo and behold, this was clean. So good luck there. I mean, it looks like maybe a little bit of debris on the side there, but I did have a battery of that very type to put in, and we're going to do that in just a second. First, a quick tour of the front. And it's really simple. Little beveled sides here make it easy to hold on to. It has 4 buttons, multifunction buttons. You have a start, and an hour, minute, and then the steering. This is left and right for steering. Then you have a game and a set, and between these you can set the clock, set the alarm, start the game, change the game, play the mini game, everything inside of here. And the LCD is just a plain black and white LCD, but as you can see, they added a little bit of a roadway ahead. So you're always on the straightaway, of course, no turns, some mountains in the background. This adds just a little bit of depth and some flavor to the game that otherwise is just black and white, as you'll see in a second. All right, so back around here on the reverse, let's put the battery in, put the little door back, and use our penny to rotate it until it falls in place. There it is. It gets tight. There we go. And voila. I'm going to play the game in a second, but first let me show you the clock functions. So, of course, when you're in this mode, you can tap right on the minute or right directional to turn sound on and off. And then just tap set, and then you can, you've set a digital watch before. Like right now for me, it's like 2 in the afternoon. There we go. It's 2:15 or something. I don't know what time it is. Yeah, there you go. And then just tap the game, and you're good. And you can toggle that. And then, let's see, then you go through game. Now it's setting the alarm. So here, you can say to set the alarm, set, and you can say, oh, I don't want this to go off right now. Let's put it for 4 in the morning. We don't want it to go off. But you can, and then you say game to get out of that. Here's the real time. And of course, you can come across here and see when the alarm is like that. It's going to go off at 4 in the morning. And to do the game, you just toggle between, just like setting the alarm. You have game 1, or game A and game B, which, by the way, I have to tell you the story of the manual. There was no manual. I looked online, couldn't find a manual. Found somebody on eBay that had one of these for sale. I contacted them and said, hey, could I get a scan of the manual? And they sent me the manual. So now I have the manual. So that's why I know how to do all these things with this little watch and the game included, because it's not, it is a race car game, but it's a, how can I say this? It's a race car game that has stuff you wouldn't know to do instinctively. I'll show you what I mean in a minute.
Don't fast forward. I'm just going to take a second to remind you of our store over at GenXGrownUp.com/merch, where you can find all sorts of original designs and other artist designs and get them printed on hats and t-shirts and mugs and pins and stickers. They cover the gamut from pop culture to games to media to whatever you're interested in. And not only will you get the thing you're looking for or a gift for someone, you'll be supporting independent content creation like you see here on GenXGrownUp. That's it. Just a quick reminder. Let's go play.
All right, let's play this little thing. So first off, you switch into game mode, which game you want. I want game A. And then you just start steering and you're off and running. If the sound has changed, I have the microphone down closer to the game so you can hear the tiny little blips. When I change lanes, little bleep there. So you get points for everything you pass. So I think it's like 10 or 20 points for everything you pass. And then what you wouldn't know is alongside the road, you see there's a flag over there on the right-hand side, like a billboard. What's not surprising, kind of pole positioning if you ask me. However, thanks to having the manual, I've learned that is a mini game within this game to pick up the flags on the left and dump them off on the billboards on the right. And if you do that 3 times, you get a little slot machine mini game. Now I've zoomed in a bit more here so you can see more of that beautiful LED. Well, it's an okay LED. It's a beautiful race car background. So you see whenever there's a flag on the left, there's like this little cutaway where you can get over there. Right now I can steer in these 3 lanes. 1, 2, 3. That's where I can drive. But if there's a flag coming up here, there should be one in a moment. Here comes one. I can cut way over here. I pick up the flag for a bonus. Now, if you look above my car, there's a tiny dot that shows I'm carrying a flag. And if I can drop it at a billboard, I'll get a bonus for that as well. So let's just keep an eye on the right-hand side. There's a billboard. Let's cut over there. Dropped it off. See the flag appeared? And then you're back out into racing. Now, if I can do that 3 times, this is going to seem weird. 3 times, I will get a slot machine mini game for extra points. Let's drop off this second flag. Just waiting on a billboard opportunity. There it is. Ooh, I hit that thing. I gotta do one more flag. There's one. Great. Just looking, there's a billboard. Now, keep an eye up here in the upper right. Hear that beeping? Now, there are numbers spinning there. Can you see that? It's a slot machine. If you can get all 3, you'll get a fuel bonus. Tap once. What is that? I can barely read. It's a 5, I think. And that's not a 5, I don't think. 3, 5, 5, I think that says. It's kind of hard to see, but... Oh, and I wrecked my car. So not only are you playing a racing game where the racing is really just about dodging obstacles in the road, then you try to pick up the flags, then you try to drop them off, then you play a slot machine game. In fact, let me try the game B, because they say that one's exactly the same, but just more difficult. So to pick it, we're just going to hit game until it says game B. And apparently, it's just faster. Here we go. Definitely is. Let's grab this flag. A lot of double taps to get past stuff. cutting in and out when you can. Let's drop this flag off. There's one. It's not too bad, and the controls are responsive enough that I don't feel like I get cheated. There's a flag. There's a billboard over there, and because you can cut in that far lane, you're not going to crash into something. Flag. Oh man, they're making this too easy for me. Oh, I missed that billboard. The Variation B is more rewarding. There's a sense of speed that wasn't there with Variation A. Now, it seemed like it was getting faster, but pretty slowly it was getting faster. So starting on option B is pretty cool. Oh, time for the slot machine minigame. Numbers spinning like crazy. Not only can I barely see them, can you see that right there? Look at that. Tap 1, looks like a 7. They're trying to time this. And a 3. And another 3. So 337 gets you nothing. Back into racing. So I've scored, what, 1,200, 1,210. The score goes up pretty quickly because every time you pass something, you get, I think it was 10 or 20 points, it said. There you go, cut over and drop that off. And having the flag to pick up actually gives you a benefit that you can get out of the lane where all the obstacles are, right? Whoa, whoa, whoa. I say as I hit all these obstacles. Oh, and there's a second one. Oh, this is about over. Oh, and it's all over because it was coming too fast. Doggone it. All right. 1,400 points in my little race car game. And if you want to go back to the alarm, cycle back around. There we go. At 4 a.m., this thing will remind me that I paid $15 for it.
All in all, I mean, it is fun to play, but I hope you can see what I'm talking about, where it's, for being 1989, it's surprisingly rudimentary. It just kind of feels like Radio Shack had some spare calculators laying around. And they're like, yeah, put some race car LCDs on them and we'll move them in our stores around the holidays as stocking stuffers. And to that end, if it was, a stocking stuffer for a kid in 89, I was a kid in 89, I wouldn't be upset. I mean, it's okay. But more than anything, I love having added it to my collection now. Look, I always try to cover more of these thrifts as I'm able to find them. I'll throw links to some previous ones I've looked at here and here. I certainly hope you found something to enjoy in this video. Can't wait to talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.